Welcome to Who Owns the City, a gritty thriller. Hey everyone, let's talk Who Owns the City. This isn't just another movie night, it's an experience that will grip you from start to finish. Picture this, a dark, gritty city. The kind of place where shadows seem to have a life of their own and every corner hides a secret. The streets are alive, but with danger. Every step you take, you feel the pulse of the city, the tension in the air. This ain't your typical action flick. It's not about car chases and explosions, but about the raw, unfiltered reality of urban life. This is a thriller. It gets under your skin. It makes you think. It challenges your perceptions and keeps you guessing. Who owns this city? Throws you right into the middle of a power struggle. It's a battle for control, for dominance, and for survival. It's a story about the city's underbelly, the part of the city that most people never see, but it's always there, lurking in the shadows. We're talking crime, corruption, and the fight for control. The stakes are high and the players are ruthless. The movie doesn't hold back. It shows you the raw, unfiltered truth of life in the city. It's raw, it's real, and it'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Every moment is filled with tension and suspense. This movie is all about suspense. It's about the moments that make your heart race and your palms sweat. Every scene, every word builds the tension. The dialogue is sharp, the characters are complex, and the plot is full of twists and turns. You'll be asking yourself, who's playing who? What's going to happen next? The suspense is palpable and the mystery keeps you hooked. And that's the beauty of it. The unpredictability, the constant guessing, the thrill of not knowing what's around the corner. You're hooked from the first frame to the last. So buckle up. This is a ride you won't forget. We're diving into Who Owns the City, a story that will take you deep into the heart of the city and show you its darkest secrets. Get ready for a story about survival, ambition, and the price of power. It's a tale of how far people will go to get what they want. In this city, nobody plays clean. Everyone has their own agenda, and trust is a rare commodity. And trust me, you'll be glued to the screen trying to figure out who comes out on top. The climax is intense, the stakes are high, and the resolution is anything but predictable. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be taken on a journey through the dark, gritty streets of Who Owns the City. This is more than just a movie. It's an experience that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Okay, let's break it down. This isn't just any city, it's a battleground. Who Owns the City is about this city, see? It's a city divided, a place where the haves and have-nots live worlds apart. On one side, you got the big players, the ones with all the money and influence. They sit in their high-rise offices, making decisions that affect everyone. They think they run things, looking down on the city like it's their personal playground. On the other side, you got the streets, the real heartbeat of the city. We're talking hustlers, criminals, people trying to survive in a world that seems stacked against them. The story kicks off with a simple question. Who owns the city? Sounds easy, right? But it's a question that digs deep into the soul of the city. But in this city, nothing is ever simple. Every corner hides a secret. Every shadow conceals a story. The answer is buried deep in a web of lies, betrayal, and violence. It's a maze where every turn could be your last. As the movie unfolds, we see these two worlds collide. The lines get blurry and the stakes get higher. It's hard to tell who's good and who's bad. Everyone's got their own agenda, their own secrets. Now, I ain't gonna spoil the ending for you, but trust me, it's a ride you won't forget. But let me tell you this, the tension builds with every scene. Every moment is a ticking time bomb. You got alliances shifting like the wind. Friends become enemies, and enemies become allies. You got double crosses that'll make your head spin. Just when you think you know what's going on, the game changes. And through it all, you're trying to figure out who's gonna come out on top, who's playing who owns the city. Is more than just a movie. It's a question that challenges your perception of power and control. It's a question that'll stay with you long after the credits roll. It's a story that lingers, making you wonder about the real power dynamics in your own world. Who Owns the City ain't just about talking. This movie brings the heat. I'm talking about scenes that'll leave you breathless. For example, there's this one chase scene. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Through the streets, over rooftops, it's a wild ride. You can feel the adrenaline pumping as the characters fight to survive. Then you got the quieter moments, the ones that mess with your head, like the tense conversations where you can practically taste the danger, or the looks exchanged between characters loaded with meaning. Trust me, in this movie, silence speaks volumes, and just when you think you know what's coming next, bam! The unexpected hits you, a twist you never saw coming. Who Owns the City keeps you guessing until the very end. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and you're along for the ride. All right, let's meet some of the key players. First up, we got the Kingpin. He's the top dog, the one who calls the shots. In this world, power is everything, and he wields it with an iron fist. But even at the top, it ain't easy. The weight of the crown is heavy, and the kingpin knows it all too well. He's got enemies everywhere, all gunning for his position. Every shadow hides a potential threat. Every ally could be a traitor. Then there's the detective, a good cop in a bad city. He's the moral compass in a world that's lost its way. He's seen it all, the corruption, the violence. Every case is a reminder of the city's dark underbelly. He's trying to do his job, but the city's got a way of pulling you in. The line between right and wrong blurs with every step he takes. And let's not forget the hustler, trying to make a name for himself in the city. He's the embodiment of ambition and street smarts. He's ambitious, he's hungry, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. The city is his playground, and he's ready to play. But in this city, ambition can be a dangerous game. One wrong move, and it could all come crashing down. These characters, they ain't black and white. Each one has their own story, their own struggles. They're complex, flawed, and driven by their own desires. Their motivations are as varied as the city itself. As the story unfolds, you'll find yourself questioning their motives. What drives them? What are they willing to sacrifice? Who can you trust in this city? Trust is a rare commodity, and betrayal lurks around every corner. Who's playing the long game? In a city where everyone has an agenda, the real game is often hidden beneath layers of deception. You'll have to watch to find out. The answers are never simple, and the truth is always elusive. Section 5. The stakes. More than just turf wars. Who Owns the City dives deep into the heart of urban power struggles. It's about more than just territory or money. It's about control, influence, and the very soul of the city. Imagine a city where every corner holds a story, where the whispers in the alleyways are as important as the headlines in the newspapers. That's the world of Who Owns the City? The stakes are high because they represent the fate of an entire community. Section 6. Power Dynamics. The struggle at the heart of the city. The movie cleverly portrays the intricate dance between those in power and those fighting for a piece of it. It exposes the raw underbelly of the city, where allegiances are fluid and every action has a ripple effect. You'll see how the characters navigate this treacherous landscape, making choices that determine not only their own destinies, but the fate of the city itself. The characters in Who Owns the City are complex and multi-layered, each driven by their own ambitions and haunted by their pasts. The film explores the motivations behind their actions, revealing the human cost of this relentless pursuit of power. Section 7. Moral Ambiguity. Blurring the lines between right and wrong. One of the things that make Who Owns the City so compelling is its refusal to offer easy answers or clear-cut heroes and villains. The characters operate in shades of gray, often forced to make impossible choices in a system rigged against them. As a viewer, you're constantly challenged to question your own perceptions of right and wrong. This moral ambiguity creates a sense of unease, drawing you deeper into the narrative and leaving you pondering the complexities of the human condition long after the credits roll. It's a story that stays with you, prompting reflection on the nature of power, justice, and the choices we make when the stakes are high. Section 8. Betrayal and Loyalty, Shifting Sands of Trust. In a city where trust is a luxury few can afford, Who Owns the City keeps you guessing who to believe. Alliances are forged and broken with alarming speed, leaving you wondering who will be the next to make a power play. Expect the unexpected as loyalties are tested and betrayals cut deep, leaving scars on both individuals and the city itself. The film masterfully depicts the emotional rollercoaster of navigating a world where trust is a currency earned, lost, and betrayed. You'll find yourself questioning the motivations of every character, never quite sure who is playing for keeps and who will be left standing when the dust settles. Section 9. The Price of Power. When ambition comes at a cost, Who Owns the City doesn't shy away from the brutal realities of ambition. It forces us to confront the question, how far would you go to achieve your goals? Each character in the film grapples with this dilemma, often sacrificing their morals and relationships on the altar of power. As the narrative unfolds, we witness the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition, both for the individuals involved and the city they inhabit. It's a sobering reminder that the pursuit of power can come at a steep price, leaving a trail of broken lives and shattered dreams in its wake. Section 10. Who Owns the City? A City on the Brink. More than just a crime thriller, Who Owns the City paints a vivid portrait of a city teetering on the edge. It captures the energy, the grit, and the desperation that simmers beneath the surface. The film throws a spotlight on the social and economic disparities that fuel the cycle of violence and corruption, leaving you with a sense of the challenges faced by those trying to survive in a system rigged against them. The film's gritty realism and unflinching gaze at urban decay make it a compelling watch. It's a stark reminder that behind the glittering facades of our cities lie complex realities and untold stories waiting to be heard. Section 11. Ready for the ride? So, there you have it. Who Owns the City? It's a wild ride from start to finish. It'll make you think, it might even make you uncomfortable. But one thing's for sure, you won't be bored. If you're looking for a movie that's going to stay with you long after the credits roll, this is it. But be warned, once you enter this city, you might not want to leave.